Hello, everyone. We are back again with another episode of our weekly podcast. We are the Football Tailgaters, and we go over hot topics in the NFL. As always, we have here our Jets fan, Yams, our unbiased NFL fan, Andy, and I'm the Cowboys fan in this group, Aaron. Let me go over the topics for today. So, as always, we're going to have our weekly biggest disappointment and surprise. And then for some topics here, we're going to go over some doubts of the quarterback position in the Jets locker room. And then we're also going to go over the Cowboys' massive upset alert against the Cardinals. And also about the Dolphins. They routed the Broncos. To me, no surprise, really. And then some extra stuff. We're also going to talk about the Broncos, and as well as Josh McDaniels and his head coaching job. So, and then lastly, the fantasy updates, and then the week 4 picks. Let's start with our weekly biggest disappointment. Guys, what is that one for you?
I think this one's pretty obvious for both of you guys. For me, it's the Jets losing to the Patriots for the 15th time in a row. So that for me is the biggest disappointment. Of course, I'm a Jets fan, so obviously.
Biggest disappointment was that monster beating up that the Denver Broncos received from the Miami Dolphins. 70 points. I've never seen anything like that. It's just absurd hearing something crazy like that. I would feel super embarrassed if I was the coaching staff of the Broncos.
I'll go with the Cowboys. It was the biggest disappointment. There were 11.5 favorites in the game, I'm pretty sure. And it's a rebuilding team against what's supposed to be a playoff contending team. You don't do those kind of things, but they were clearly underprepared, and there was just some issues that I'll leave for later in this podcast. But what about your guys' weekly biggest surprise for week 3?
For me, it's the opposite of Andy. For me, it's the Dolphins putting up 70 points. That is a big surprise. For me, I've never seen that in the NFL. I mean, I haven't been following the NFL for that long, but I don't know. I mean, you guys tell me more, but I've never seen a team put 70 points on a team like if it was college. So that's a big surprise for me.
Yeah, it looked like a college team. It was like a professional football team just destroying. Like we saw Colorado almost getting destroyed for that much, even though it was like 40-something points. But
poor
yeah.
Colorado.
Well, for me, the biggest surprise were actually the Arizona Cardinals. They actually lost last 2 games, and they went against the Dallas Cowboys, a team that everybody was hyping up as being one of the best or maybe the best team in the NFL, and they actually hit them in the mouth big time. They ran the ball through them. They knew how to throw. They knew how to contain them. They actually made Dak try to beat him, and they couldn't. So kudos to the Cardinals.
For me, I was kind of stuck between the Texans-Jaguars game and the Colts and Ravens. And I think I'm going to go with the Colts being the biggest surprise here because you're going out with your backup quarterback. Obviously, your rookie quarterback, Richardson, is out with an injury. And you go out there and win it overtime by a field goal, right? And for the Ravens, they're a regular season team, how I put it. I think they're a great regular season team, and they got a good roster. They definitely don't have a bad defense at all, and their offense is pretty dynamic, and they're mostly run heavy with Lamar Jackson. And to me, it was a surprise with what I guess the Ravens weren't able really to put together. They only scored 19 points against the Colts. I was surprised that the Colts were able to outscore them, really, but they just completely proved me wrong there. What about, let's jump into the main topics here. I'm trying to avoid it, but it's the inevitable. So let's go over the Cowboys. Are the Cowboys overrated after the loss against the Cardinals?
No, they're not. Not yet. I'll say that. They will be if they don't address and fix their issues right now. Obviously, they are still a good team. They need to really rely on that run game in order to see some success, but not right now. If they rely on Dak Prescott, then yes, they are in trouble.
Of course, they're not an overrated team. The first 2 weeks, they beat down the Giants, which they're probably a terrible team, and they went a little bit toe-to-toe with the Jets for like 3 quarters. We couldn't see the offense. We didn't see the offense with the Cowboys. Toe-to-toe meaning that there wasn't that many points scored for the Cowboys throughout the first half. So in this particular game, they showed who their true colors are in offense. They're not ready. And in defense, they just got hit in the mouth. So, of course, they are overrated.
I wouldn't pin it just exactly yet to being overrated. I think there are plenty of issues that they have to address, and they were clearly underprepared in this game. You just go in assuming that you're going against a rebuilding team that's 0-2, and after the beatdowns you did in the first 2 weeks, we're just beating down these teams who clearly have less talent than yours, speaking as the Cowboys, right? But I think a lot of it was the injuries, right? That's been kind of plaguing them here and there. Obviously, they lost Trayvon Diggs. And then the offensive struggles right now with trying to find their offensive identity. They have this whole new thing going on with Mike McCarthy. And apparently Dak Prescott is holding the reins on this one as well. It's something that's going to have to get molded more throughout the season. And right now, I think they're getting the ugly stuff out of the way. But they're clearly showing some issues with the running game. The red zone game that they have was awful. It was horrific. They clearly missed someone like Zeke Elliott. They need someone like Zeke Elliott. I think they're probably misusing their fullback, Hunter, that they have, and he could have been pretty useful there because you have Tony Pollard, you have Rico Dowdle. They're not Zeke Elliott type of players. They can't really bulldoze their way to a touchdown here. So they gotta find either sign someone off that can fix that hole, right? And then obviously they gotta call the better plays. You gotta put Dak Prescott in a good position, and Yams put it kind of well. If you don't put him in a good position, he's not gonna win you the game. It's really rare when he does it. And I'm not saying he's trash or anything, but I mean, when you're trying to compare, like, okay, they won like trash against trash teams. All right, so the Bills lost against the Jets. So what does that have to do with anything? It's just really unfortunate the way it went down for this game, and that how their defense is. It's not just like, just because they went against trash teams, it's just they're like mediocre or whatever. We know this is a top 5 defense easily, and they got really, really, really screwed over with this Trayvon Diggs injury. And they got to figure that out. But the running game against the Cowboys defense, the Cardinals, what they had going was great. They were just running all over them. And that opened up the passing game. And it was a whole disaster for the defense, and they couldn't hold it down because the offense can't produce.
No, but look at the biggest difference between the Cardinals games and compared to the Jets and the Giants one. With the Cardinals, you saw the quarterback Dobbs throwing it like super quick. Like he wasn't holding the ball, and that's something that Zach Wilson and Daniel Jones were doing. They were holding the ball, which led for the defensive line of the Cowboys to get to them. So that's one of the biggest reasons why.
They were working on the opposite side of Micah Parsons. Is it Micah? No. Is it Micah?
Micah Parsons.
I'm sorry.
Micah Parsons.
I get confused with mine, with Micah Becton. With Parsons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
With Parsons. And they were working the opposite of him.
But did you see how, like, when the quarterback is able to throw, how it opened the running game for them?
Yeah.
And the running game, it worked extraordinarily well for the Cardinals. So that was one of the biggest reasons. And for the Cowboys, they did have offensive line issues. They had, like, 3 offensive linemen there that are not starters. So they did have their issues there for them to be able to run the ball. But at the end of the day, Trayvon Diggs, he's a cornerback. He is not going to stop the run or anything like that.
No. But he can definitely avoid the issue if, okay, they're just absolutely destroying the running game. They can slow down the passing game with Trayvon Diggs. He definitely could have helped out. I'm not saying because he wasn't there, that's why they lost.
But, the Cardinals kind of always had this kind of history with the Cowboys. Now that they kind of struggle better. And then you can see in the beginning of the game, you see Dak Prescott, and they're all smiling. They're all laughing and smiling.
Of course.
As if, we got this.
They were going to cruise, yeah.
Yeah, but as always, you probably know, Cowboy fans should see this coming, right?
Yep.
It always happens. They're too excited. They get off to a hot start. And then some team that everyone believes that they're tanking, in this case it's Cardinals, just does the right things and just wins the game. They had control of the entire game.
Yeah, they're ruining their train to get Caleb Williams. from the draft next year. So
I know, right?
Well, I think that belongs to the Chicago Bears again.
ouch, yeah, it could be.
You gotta give credit to the Cardinals though. They played a good game. They played a pretty good game.
Gannon put a good defensive game.
Which I mean, if everybody's putting the Cowboys as a top team to beat, of course they're gonna give them all. Like the players are gonna be like, okay, watch us do what we can do, and we're gonna go for it 100%. So that's exactly what happened. And the Cowboys, like you guys were saying, they're just like happy and thinking that they were gonna cruise on by with this one because the Cardinals didn't show that much potential.
The Cowboys deserve this loss, and it's going to be a good wake-up call. They got the Patriots up next.
Good thing it's a wake-up call for this early, so they can fix their mistakes. And offensively, I don't know what they are offensively.
Yeah, there's no offensive identity. There's no clear like, oh, they're a running team, they're a passing team. It's kind of tough there. So and then they're going against a Belichick defense, so that doesn't make it.
The passing game is very questionable there. The run, they are a running, in my opinion, a running type of offense, but the throwing, the passing game for them is a little suspect. Everybody's putting up too much for Cooks. Brandon Cooks.
Oh, Brandon Cooks.
So I'm questioning it there. The only big time player that they have is CeeDee Lamb. It seems like the tight end Ferguson did show up a bit, but it doesn't. I think they do need more weapons offensively.
They need to figure it out something offensively. They can't continue to let their defense score for them.
Yeah, and I think Prescott definitely needs help because of, I guess, the way they're kind of shifting when they try to throw the ball. I feel like, I don't know, it's just some of the throws that he does.
At least he throws it.
You know.
But that throw in the end, that was the interception.
It was, you don't do that.
No, you don't.
But I mean, you put yourself in that position, right? You're in the quarterback. You got these tall linemen, right? And he's not a short guy or anything, but from the angle that I saw, from the camera angle, but it's not from like the quarterback camera angle, right? But he snuck out of nowhere. Like he just came out, popped up, and picked it off. So it might have just been like
out of nowhere. No, he was like right there.
No. I guess you didn't see the angle, but he was, the way the linemen were up there. He was kind of blending in with his defensive line because he was kind of up close, kind of hanging around the middle. And then he dropped back because he saw him looking towards the middle, the linebacker. I forget his name.
That should be a Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray issue, not a Dak Prescott issue. He should be tall enough to be able to see what's going on.
What did you say?
They're short quarterbacks compared to Dak Prescott.
Who did you say was short?
Kyler Murray.
And whom?
Russell Wilson.
I think you said Zach Wilson.
I said Russell Wilson.
No, I don't think so.
No, I think you're traumatized.
No,
that's what it
Zach
is. No,
Wilson.
you're traumatized.
All right, well, let's move on.
It shouldn't have come down to that. It shouldn't have come down to that. You need a running back. You run in the red zone. You run when you're inside the 5-10, and you don't have something that can push you towards that, because Tony Pollard can, but he's not a bulldozer.
Right.
He's not. They need someone like, what's his name? Oh my God, Leonard. They need someone like Leonard Fournette. There you go, because he's a free agent right now.
Maybe that's why they got Ronald Jones, but then they let him go.
I don't think so,
they let
guys.
him go.
I just think the defensive Cardinals really just put the ball in Dak Prescott's hand.
Dak Prescott couldn't even run. He couldn't even run because there was defenders right in front of him.
They eliminated the run game, and they made him throw. Something that the Jets screwed up in not being able to do so. But it's it. Game over. You make Dak Prescott run or try to throw the ball, it's not going to be a good game for the Cowboys. Not that he's a bad quarterback. It's just...
We've seen it before that if you put the game on his shoulders, and
he can't do it most of the time.
He can't do it most of the time just himself, especially if the players are not getting open. Then right. So I get it.
Let's move on to the next one and talk about another quarterback issue. Now that we were kind of mentioning it, or apparently Yams was assuming that we were, Zach Wilson. Should the Jets move on from Zach Wilson?
Right, it's inevitable. I think it's going to happen, probably, after this season. I just don't know with him. I don't know what's up with this kid. I don't know what's up with Nathaniel Hackett. I'm just so sick of it. I'm sick to my stomach. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being beat up by the Patriots. I'm just done. I am done. I'm done. I'm just sick and tired of it. I'm sorry. I don't even know what to say.
I think they should stick with him this week. You just need like the last confirmation, because we saw one drive out of the whole game yesterday against the Patriots that he was like an NFL quarterback. Throughout the whole game, he wasn't. I don't know what he was. He was just there, like just to be there, just stand there, and not even just. He took sacks without people even touching him. So I don't know the issues there. It seems like he's scared. We don't know what's going on, but that drive just shows what the capability he's able to do. Now he's going to go in Sunday Night Football against the Chiefs, a really hard defense, and everybody in primetime are going to see him. All the Swifties are going to be seeing. That's going to be more millions of people watching. And so it's going to be that's the game that's going to confirm that you're going to have to move on from him.
I would say that's kind of fair. It's the Chiefs defense is tough. It's tough. And with Chris Jones back, it's not going to be any easier, right? We've already seen it now that he signed his contract and he's back and all that. So they got a tough game against the Chiefs. And this was their time to really take advantage of a pretty weak New England Patriots, obviously. It's kind of like the similar situation where you need to put the quarterback in a good position with the running game so you can open up the passing game. I mean, it's just kind of like it's an equation here, and it's not exactly, and it's not happening. You got dynamic running backs with Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're wasting talent.
It seems like this is something that happens every year with the Jets. We're blaming like the offensive coordinator for not putting Zach Wilson in the best position. When are we going to say like, you know what's enough? Let's just get a quarterback that can even throw the ball, do a check down, do this and that.
But I like your point there, but I haven't seen a head coach that since Rex Ryan that really sticks to the run.
They were sticking a little bit in the beginning of the game against the Patriots with the run. They were throwing, but they come to a position that they have to throw the ball. Even if you have, if it's a running game, even if it's a running type of scheme that the Jets have, that's going to be their offensive identity, to be a running game. You still have to throw the ball. You still have to complete a few passes in order to be that dynamic. You saw with the Cowboys, with against the Giants and the Jets, Dak doesn't have to throw the ball that much, and when he does, he just completes it, and it just looks amazing. It looks like an amazing offense when you have that running game. So you still need a quarterback to be able to win.
Right. But you don't have an open market like this. You gotta get quarterbacks out of retirement to get something going. That's not gonna work for you. So you need to look at your options, right? You got to build some kind of systematic game around the offense that can really benefit from the running so it can open the passing. This is, again, it was just...
Okay, so let's just say that in this Sunday night, it happens the exact same way that we just saw yesterday against the Patriots.
I hope not. Get me away from the TV. I don't want to see it. Okay. I'm going to break it.
All right. Just calm down over there. I'm saying, what happens if we see the same thing? So basically, right now, we're kind of blaming the situation on Hackett, the offensive coordinator, for not putting the running game and everything. And it's not showing that it's completely Zach Wilson's fault. So what do you do in that situation? If after the Chiefs game, it's the same thing.
We get it. Zach Wilson's not that good. We get it. That's not that good. Okay, your quarterback's not that good. Fix it. Build around it. You can't just pick up some really great quarterback off the free agency, and you can't really trade for him.
So what's your point? Are you saying to keep him, or what are you saying?
No, but yeah, you gotta keep him. Look, the guy...
You gotta keep him
throughout the season.
What are you gonna get? What are you gonna get?
Get out of the way. Just finish the whole season with him. You know what you get. You know what you're gonna do at the end. But you see him. You see the throws he does. He does. Oh gosh, I don't know.
He has an arm. He has the ability to run,
throw the dart, but
he just doesn't make the good decisions to when to throw it. That's the thing.
The problem with him is that he's afraid to throw it.
To get intercepted.
Wait until Aaron Rodgers is back and is in his ear.
That's easy for us to say. It's very easy for us to see it. But then you're wasting a lot of talent in your team year after year. There's contracts coming up. The Jets don't have that much money anymore. So it's like not all the players are going to be waiting for you.
What are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to just get Tom Brady back and just get him out of retirement and give him all the money? Because that's not possible.
They stick it out this year.
You can't bring back Matt Ryan. You can't. Who are you going to bring back? Joe Flacco? Wait, you got no options. You gotta wait it out with Zach Wilson.
Well,
it's just they put themselves in this position, and now they gotta bite through it.
Does it come into a situation? What if there's a situation that you lose the locker room, that just the players start disrespecting or not supporting Robert Salah? Now you have a coaching issue with the players that it's not going to roll over till next season because he's not putting them in a position to win. These players want to win. We saw that they were like just yelling on the sidelines yesterday in the Patriots game.
Yeah.
They were just really frustrated with Zach Wilson, with the coordinator.
They weren't frustrated with Zach Wilson at the time.
How do you know what they were selling to him? I mean, they weren't like telling him like you suck or you're terrible.
No,
they were just probably telling him
saying,
like, hey, you got to do this. Hey, I'm open at this position, or I'm open in this situation, or I'm going to do this route, and you're going to be able to throw it to me, or whatever it is. And then you have the running backs yelling at the running backs coach too.
It seems like the argument is all within the offense because you also saw Garrett Wilson figuring it out with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, the defense they played well.
Of course, because the defense is great. That's not the issue here. The issue is the offense.
It was just one play that that Mac Jones actually took advantage of that play, and that became like points for them. But it would have been less points for the Patriots. So the Jets did a really good job in defense.
Okay.
Yeah. You held them to 15 points when it should have been more because of the way the offense was playing for the Jets. It's you don't go 2 for 14 on third downs. That's another issue. And then you don't run the ball enough. That's another issue. So you're gonna just put it on your sophomore quarterback to just heave it down there and just find a way to win?
Junior quarterback.
Junior, sorry. Junior?
Like junior.
Third year.
Oh,
already?
Yeah, it's his third year.
Dang. Well, okay.
So it sounds worse.
Yeah. Because the thing is, didn't he get injured? Was it the first year?
It was last year when he got injured.
Oh,
he got injured both years, but last year he got injured that he missed 5 games or 6 games, something like that. And his backups were winning, even though they were bad.
That's right.
Well, Mike White, he wasn't that terrible, but Joe
right.
Flacco was pretty bad, and he actually won against the Browns.
It's because I can't blame him for everything. Obviously, it's the O-line has some issues.
Mm-hmm.
Nathaniel Hackett's not creative enough. Obviously, he got the boot after 1 year with the Broncos. They have their own issues right now.
And then he was an offensive coordinator for one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. So we don't even know what he can do.
Exactly. Who is
That's what I'm saying. This guy got hired because apart from being friends with the head coach, it was because of Aaron Rodgers. And now you put yourself in such a situational problem that if this goes wrong, if this happens, it all crumbles. And that's exactly what's going on right now. So now you're stuck with the poison that you put in there of an offensive coordinator, and you're stuck with it.
Well, nobody thought that Aaron Rodgers was going to go down that quickly. So they put all their chips on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
It was all Aaron Rodgers' story here.
And that's the issue. That was the issue. That's the mistake. Because you're trying to please your quarterback, right? Now, I don't know how strict he was. He's like, I'm only joining the Jets if Hackett is joining. How strict was it,
I kind of do believe that was the strictness of it. Yeah, when Woody Johnson went over there to his home in California, even though he denies that there was a list, he just says that they asked him what he wants, and he actually responded.
Nathaniel Hackett was
gamble,
already
that was the
hired, by
gamble.
the way. Nathaniel Hackett was already hired before they went down there.
Okay, fine. Then they had conversations about it, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No.
If that's the way how it went, then they're just stuck with what they gambled with.
Well, look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When Tom Brady went there and he brought all his players and everything, maybe not his coaching staff, but once he left, then they went down. Right now they're doing okay so far, but
I mean they're 2-0.
They're 2-0, but it's not the same. It's not the same team without Tom Brady. So
yeah, of course.
I'm just saying. With the Jet situation, it's a very delicate situation because you have all the team that they want to win now. They don't want to wait. You kind of want to show them you have their back instead of saying, oh, we're just going to roll with Zach Wilson the whole year. It is what it is. And then next year, hey, guys, we'll have Aaron Rodgers back. That's I don't think that's how players want to play in the league wait for Aaron Rodgers next year.
Yeah, I'm willing to wait.
No, you as a fan, but the players don't, though.
No, but look, you have Garrett Wilson. This is his second year now. You have Sauce Gardner is his second year now.
Yep.
Next year needs to be it. all in.
You're saying these guys are like, nah, I want out of the Jets.
Contracts are coming. Contracts are coming.
Next year?
No, not next year. But okay, so you're just throwing it all into one year?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's just how it is. But going back to just Zach Wilson, because I know that we have to see him on Sunday night. Now the whole world's gonna have to see what I sit through every Sunday. I'm just hoping that this kid does not go back into his breakdown of whatever that Belichick did to him last year, where he just completely lost it.
I don't think so, because he has more.
He doesn't throw the ball.
He has more veterans on his side here. He has Cobb. He has Lazard talking to him. He has Aaron Rodgers talking to him.
Hopefully.
I don't think that's the case. I think he's just trying to follow procedure, but he cannot just do Aaron Rodgers' game plan, which I think that's what Nathaniel Hackett is doing. Putting Aaron Rodgers plays, like him holding the ball and finding a wide receiver that's open. That shouldn't be the play call for Zach Wilson.
Are you telling me Aaron Rodgers hangs on to the ball that long?
No, I'm saying that he's a pocket passer, and Zach Wilson, since he can't throw the ball quickly like Aaron Rodgers can, because Aaron Rodgers is going to find the wide receiver. He knows where he's going to be throwing it, and maybe Zach Wilson's like, where he needs to throw it, he doesn't throw it, and he just waits and tries to look of even more open wide receiver. I don't see what the kid is looking at. But yesterday, when Tony Romo was calling the game, he was saying, look, he had an open shot right here quickly. He had an open shot over here quickly. But there's a defender with that wide receiver. It's just like a 2-second throw or 1-second throw. But we don't know if he's like, you know what, I can't throw it there because there's a defender there. So maybe he just wants wide open guys, which he was throwing in that particular drive. He did a really good job, which just baffles me why they can't do it the whole game. But that's the situation with him, that I don't know where his mind is, and I don't know where Nathaniel's mind is. They're not like having a chemistry.
They're not having a chemistry.
They're not hacking it together.
They're not. It doesn't hack.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Apparently, this has to be every time we talk about them.
We can move on.
Yeah. Why not? Let's go over to. One of the surprises of this week, the team that's sitting on top, first place in the AFC East, and no, it's not the Bills. It's the Dolphins 3-0. They just destroyed the Broncos 70-20. Let's go, Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. Woo! And I'm going to give you guys this question. Are the Dolphins the best team in the NFL?
Right now, they definitely are. Putting so much points like that on the Denver Broncos is just insane. And they've been playing really well every single game up to these 3 weeks. I'm not going to say that they're going to be the best team at the end for like the whole season, but as of right now, they are the team to beat.
It's week 3 for me. Yes, they did put up a big show of the Broncos. I think that goes more of a saying for the Broncos being more of a mess. But yeah, they were coming out with creative plays. Tua was doing the shuffle, kind of what Patrick Mahomes does twice, right? And then, of course, you sit him down and you have Mike White that goes and throws another dart. So yeah, McDaniels is a creative head coach. As of right now, for week 3, yes, they are the best team in the NFL, but it is week 3. There's still a lot of tape, and I'm sure there's a team out there that's going to stop them.
There is more of so I think if you were to get like all the teams that, there would be on the top in the NFL in general, right, as a whole, as currently as it is, it would be like somewhere around San Francisco, Dolphins, the Eagles, stuff like that. And it would really kind of come down to the 49ers and Dolphins right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And the difference between both of them is, funny enough, I think the Dolphins have something special with the offense, and the 49ers have something special with the defense. And I think the Dolphins have, like I was just saying, it's a little bit of a better edge to them for having the kind of offensive game that they're going, and especially they just proved it. Now, the Broncos defense, they don't look the same to me as they did the last season. So there might be something there. And Patrick Surtain, what happened there? Tyreek smoked them the whole game. It was crazy. And then the running back, what's his name? Achane?
Oh.
A-Chain?
A-Chain.
I think he said today that his name is Achane.
Achane. Okay. That he just crazy, just randomly popped off, right? Just 2 touchdowns, was it? And
well, he had a total of 4, and then Mostert also had 4 himself as well. Total of 8.
I don't need.
It was a disgusting
8 touchdowns from the running backs.
Yeah, you can't, as an NFL team, Broncos, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on? Obviously, Russell Wilson's not playing defense. It's not all his fault, right? The defense. What happened to the defense? Where'd it go? It just disappeared. It said bye. I don't know. Like, I just don't exist.
People that are saying it's Russell Wilson's fault, like, you don't know football. Like, really, 70 points? Are you kidding? 70
that's all defense.
Points. That's insane. That's insane. 70 points. And the Dolphins, I credit Mike McDaniels. And you know, the funny thing is that right now, I agree with you, Aaron. It's 49ers and the Miami Dolphins. And Mike McDaniels fell off the Shanahan coaching staff into there. So they're very similar in how they're doing things. Look at Mike McDaniels. He's using his running backs just like Shanahan does with the 49ers. And they're just putting the quarterbacks in a position that they don't have to do all that much for them to score so many points. And I mean, the 49ers has built their defense, of course, because they've been there doing this for many years now. And McDaniels is little by little building that big time team in Miami. So give him time and they're going to be even bigger. It's just hopefully Tua just continues to be healthy.
But did we forget how the Patriots and Miami had a close game last week?
It's a division game.
Okay, but still, there's a defense there, right? Mm-hmm. Broncos doesn't have a defense. I don't know what's up. Like Aaron says, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same defense.
Not the same defense. They have a big problem. Obviously, Sean
Well,
Payton
we're going to talk about the Denver Broncos soon.
Are this in a topic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, my short answer
why don't we move to the Denver Broncos?
Well, my short answer is no, they're not the best team in the NFL.
Well, who is it?
Ooh.
Who is it?
I still stick it with the 49ers.
Okay. I mean, it's arguable. And
it is arguable.
Like, so.
But we can agree, we can all three agree that those are the two top teams in the NFL right now.
It's just week 3.
I know, as of right now, we're talking about.
Yeah, you know what?
It's because Dolphins land in the same division as the Jets, so there's a little bit of saltiness there.
Yeah, I don't mind to visit Miami. You want to go visit Miami?
So let's talk about the Denver Broncos. What's the problem with the Denver Broncos?
You know, for the Denver Broncos to lose by 70 points, such a humiliation. It tells me that there's something more going on than just like us being a bad team. The players just got destroyed and humiliated. So I don't know if there's situations going on with the head coach with Sean Payton and some problems with the players, because he called out his quarterback, like Russell Wilson, in the past few weeks. And I'm not too sure if players are liking what's going on. And then he actually stated, Sean Payton stated that the team was like horrible in the last few years. So there's something strange going on that I'm not sure if it's going to be carrying over in the next few weeks. It's going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, it was an embarrassing 70 points on the team. You don't see that in the NFL. You see that only in college. And Sean Payton was brought in to take care of Hackett, I guess, the mess he created. But there's actually much more that, Sean Payton can't fix this overnight. There's more problems in the Denver Broncos that we just don't comprehend at this moment. But the good thing is that they do face Chicago next week. So that might, winning does cure things in the locker room. Hopefully they win. Who knows? If they do lose, then it's going to be a bigger issues.
Oh, was it that was he got interviewed and he was like, I'm tired of losing.
Offensive lineman, Garrett.
I don't want to lose, yeah.
Yeah, no lineman. Well, it was embarrassing.
It's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, can't recover.
Yams brought up a good point. So next Sunday, actually, the Bears play the Broncos. These are two bad teams, two awful teams. This is where they both need to show like some spunk.
Who's the worst one?
Yeah, no, to show like who's some spunk in there. Like, are we gonna be really losing to, like, they're gonna both be thinking the same way? Are we gonna be really losing to the Bears, where they have just basically no offense or defense? And then the Bears thinking the same thing. Are we really gonna be losing to the 70-point like destruction that the Broncos had? That is going to be a really interesting game to watch.
Yeah, it's one of the games to watch for sure. The problem with the Broncos is definitely, I think, the whole team, including the front office. What's going on?
Well, the owners, they did their job, in my opinion. The Walmart owners, they actually got Sean Payton, which everybody's like putting Sean Payton like in the like if he's some type of like coaching god or something.
He's not.
But he's not. But that's what And also, I mean, I think it was a prior owner that brought in Russell Wilson, which a lot of people had, including myself, a lot of like big time confidence in Russell Wilson, and it's not playing out how they thought they were. And then the players that they got from the draft, Jerry Jeudy, Patrick Surtain, Cortland Sutton, even they
not living up to it.
It seems like they do have that they know how to pick players, but it's just not working at all. So that's what I'm saying.
Is this
there's
something like a misused talent?
No, there's something going on in that.
I don't know.
In that organization,
something's up, right? But also Sean Payton brought a lot of attention to himself too off the off season before he even became the head coach. He really destroyed Nathaniel Hackett, saying that was like the worst head coaching he's ever seen.
Oh man!
And then he becomes head coach of the Broncos, and he also still continues to throw Hackett under the bus. But then you know what? Karma comes around, right? 70 points.
Yep.
Well, I think he stopped. He just did it that one time with Hackett, and then everybody went out after him, and he said, I think he apologized or something like that.
No, what about that time he kind of like dissed Russell Wilson, saying, I don't know who said that, but no one's going to have their own office. Remember that?
Yeah, well, that was for Russell Wilson.
And then he did it again. Stop kissing babies. I don't know. Like,
yeah, that's to Russell Wilson, not to Hackett.
Okay, it's still like you're opening your mouth way too much.
I just wanted it clear that he only did it once to Hackett.
Twice. Well, as a head coach?
As a head coach.
As a head coach of the once. But in his lifetime, he did it twice.
Not good. Not good. The whole state of Colorado, not good. Not good. Not a good weekend.
A lot of stories, a lot of like excitement for Colorado, right? With Prime, with Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, and it's just not doing so well. I mean, luckily marijuana's legal there, I think.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic with Josh McDaniels. So the Raiders lost at home against the Steelers. Oh, I was it at home? It kind of felt like an away game for the Raiders. I don't know about you guys, but anyways.
It was at home at Las Vegas.
No, I know, but I don't know if you saw the stadium. There was quite a bit of Steelers fans.
Yeah, well, Steelers.
There was at times I was like, wow, this sounds like a Steelers stadium.
Yeah, I agree with you. But your question is, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Josh McDaniels, is he proving he shouldn't be a head coach?
I've been saying it for the last, 2 years that he
3
was
years?
was he the head coach last year? No, too. So
yep.
Yeah, so this is year 2. I've been saying it for years, even when he was a coordinator for the Patriots. This man is not a head coach. I already saw what he did with the Denver Broncos, and he just tries to make things happen in his own way, trying to be a Bill Belichick in his own way and making some crazy moves, but it just doesn't work out. And in this particular game, you can completely see that he just doesn't even know the situational football of not going for it on 4th down in the red zone to be able to score a touchdown, and he actually scored a field goal, trusting his defense to be able to stop the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it was just uncalled for. So no, he is not a head coach.
They hired the Ron McDaniels. You don't kick it in the 4th quarter. How many minutes was it?
It was very little. Yeah,
33 minutes or something
very
like
little
that.
time.
They were going to still need to score a touchdown, and you were in the
you were already in the red zone, which
minutes.
took you so long, almost the entire game to get there. The defense is not afraid of Jimmy G.
No, they're not.
So how dare you send? Like, how dare you? Like, I don't. You're already there. Just go for it. It was 3rd down or 4th down. I'm sorry.
It was 4th down.
It was 4th.
No, it was 3rd down. It was 4th down. Yeah, go for it. 4th and what?
Of course.
I don't know. 4th and goal.
It wasn't even that long. It was a couple yards.
You go for it.
Yeah, it was like 5-6 yards, something like that. You go for it.
You go for it. No one's scared of Jimmy G, so you go for it.
Even if you don't make it, you actually put the Pittsburgh Steelers like within their own 5-yard line.
There was 2 minutes and 22 seconds left, and they went for a field goal on the 26-yard line. So what was it like? So the ball was placed like, I don't know, around the 18, something like that.
Wasn't Jimmy G picked off twice before they were there?
Yeah. Well, and he's in concussion protocol. So
now he's in concussion protocol.
Now you know what was going on through his head.
Yep.
I don't know what they're thinking, because I think Carr is better than Jimmy G, and they let Carr go.
I think it was just a place that they both needed to just restart and revamp. They just didn't believe in Carr anymore, and yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of over. They need a reset with the quarterback. And I don't think it's wrong to get Jimmy Garoppolo, but yeah, you could argue definitely that Carr is better, right?
Well, he had some history with McDaniels with the Patriots, Garoppolo.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It adds to the chemistry.
us that like just with our eyeballs, we can kind of see like who's the better quarterback. Maybe it's not too much of a difference, but at least Derek Carr, even though he did get injured, he is more healthier than Garoppolo. He just got concussion, and so we'll see.
Well, Carr, if I'm not wrong, he was dealing with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, but apparently it's like a ligament in his right shoulder, his throwing shoulder. So he's going to be week to week. And according to some players, it's like a really painful injury because it's just going to hurt you every time that you move your shoulder. Especially if you're a quarterback, you got to use and throw it. Like it's going to take some time. So I don't expect them to see him for a couple weeks at least. And I believe RG3, he actually explained that he had the same type of injury when he was in BYU, and they were injecting him like almost every single day with a bunch of fluid so he doesn't feel that pain in that ligament every time that he threw the ball. So it's just up to Derek Carr to see how much of that pain he can withhold.
Right. And I mean, you're always trying to shoot for the Super Bowl, right? And the roster that they have, I mean, this is kind of going off topic, right? But just real quick, like, I don't know. It's just, I think he should be pretty conservative with that, in my opinion, about his own health, right? But depending on how much he wants it.
Oh, I agree with you. He's in a division that even if he misses a few weeks, they'll be fine. Yeah, Kamara's gonna come back, I believe, on Sunday. He's gonna have another weapon, and I mean, the Panthers are there. The Falcons are doing good, and then you have the Buccaneers. So I think he still has a good shot. So yeah, I would take his time at least. Like, don't force it. In other words.
So let's go on to the last part of today's episode. We're gonna have some fantasy updates, right? Maybe waiver wires, and then also the week 4 picks.
Yeah. So for fantasy updates, this is just for this particular week. I would pick up Bronco players. I would pick up Bears players, just in the fact that they're going to be playing each other. I'm sure that there are going to be some scoring and some points on that game. So I would start looking into those players. I know Justin Fields didn't have a great game this last week, but I think he'll be bouncing back But I will stay away from Jets players because they're going to be going against Kansas City Chiefs, one of the best defenses in the league. So they're going to be struggling, so I'll be staying away from any Jets players at the moment. Pickups for the week, I'll have Dell, the wide receiver for Houston. He seems like he's going to be a legitimate weapon for Stroud, the quarterback for the Houston Texans. The running back from the Miami Dolphins, A-Chain. He should be a pickup. He just showed his ability and his talent in that 70-point monster destruction against the Denver Broncos. So he's a running back I would pick up. And a tight end that's really hard to find is Laporte of the Detroit Lions tight end. It seems like he's getting some chemistry with Goff, and I say why not? Go pick him up because tight ends are scarce right now.
It would be kind of tough, though, because I'm pretty sure he's already kind of popular, and it would be kind of weird if you don't have him because he's been since a week 1 type of player.
I believe
he's been producing.
He's 60% available in 60% of leagues. So, yeah.
63. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm sure that, 63% of leagues
people
can pick him up.
8 points, 11 points, 22. Yeah, it makes sense.
I have him.
And nobody really expected him to be like... maybe there were some fantasy gurus or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's a lot of leagues that have 10 teams in their leagues that don't have them. So
yeah.
Why don't you pick them up? Those are my fantasy updates for this week.
Yeah, I don't have any more either. I think you pretty much said the same ones. So let's move on to week 4 picks. What about those?
So for the week 4 picks, let's start with the Lions against the Packers. The Packers have Love. He is just showing that he can actually take the reins from Aaron Rodgers and take the Packers to a winning season. But they're going to be facing the Lions, which I believe the Lions have a little bit more veteranship, and they're going to be able to outwin the Packers. So just by a little, it's going to be a close game, but I am picking the Lions. Aaron Glenn, he actually is doing a better job as a defensive coordinator this year. Next up, we have the Vikings against the Panthers. That's going to be also a close game. Depends also if Young or Andy Dalton is playing. And for that reason, I'm going to be taking the Vikings. They do have still a lot of weapons. I know the Vikings have been losing many games, but I'm pretty sure that for this particular game, they're going to be able to bounce back with Jefferson and their other offensive weapons. For the Buffalo Bills against the Miami Dolphins, that's going to be a division game. It's not going to be as easy for the Miami Dolphins to win, but I am picking the Dolphins in a close game. But I wouldn't be surprised for the Buffalo Bills. If I was going to be betting, I would be staying away from this particular game, but I am picking the Dolphins. The Denver Broncos against the Chicago Bears. This is, I believe, a must-see game, especially if you're into fantasy, because these two teams are going to just go 100% at each other. Unless one team is quitting, we're going to see actually if any of these two teams are going to be quitters and just tanking for the season. Because this particular game, it's like the two worst teams of the league playing against each other. The worst team in the AFC against the worst team in the NFC. But for these two teams, I believe the Denver Broncos are going to outshine what the Chicago Bears are able to do, because I do not believe in the Chicago Bears offense at all. So I'm going to be taking the Broncos for this team. The Patriots against the Dallas Cowboys. I know the Dallas Cowboys just lost against the Arizona Cardinals, and they had a big time struggles just getting their, I guess, just being hit in the mouth big time from the Cardinals. I believe Belichick's going to do the exact same way and putting some special, actually different schemes for the defense, for the Patriots defense against the Cowboys offense. But I believe the Cowboys are going to be able to pull this off, and they're just going to be playing a little bit more conservative, using the running game more. And that's going to be able to pull this game off. And that's just because I don't believe in Mac Jones in that offense. I believe the Cowboys defense are going to be able to control them, and the Cowboys are going to be able to score more points. Now, the Sunday night game, the Chiefs against the Jets, is an easy pick for me. I think it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. The Jets have some issues. This is the game that I think that the Jets and the whole country is going to be able to see that Zach Wilson's not going to be the future for the New York Jets. And that's the game that's going to decide for the Jets to move on from Zach Wilson. And the Chiefs are just going to be having a great game. A bunch of points from Travis Kelce and their weapons and their running backs and their stutter top quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. And the Monday Night Football game, the Giants against the Seahawks. This is going to be a close game. I do believe that the Seahawks are going to be pulling this off, and it's just because they're finding their groove again, the Seahawks. We saw a great game that they had on Sunday, and I think it's going to be rolling over till next Monday night's game against the Giants, which I believe are going to still have Saquon Barkley out and are still going to be struggling on offense. Those are my picks for week 1.
It's, I was just thinking about how Chicago, what's the move with Justin Fields? Are you going to tank for Williams? What are
I think they're just going to do. That is a situation that's a little different from the New York Jets, because the New York Jets do have players that are outstanding talent, and the Chicago Bears, they don't have that much outstanding talent. They have players that have been jumping from team to team, and the New York Jets is just a young team that's just ready to win. So I wouldn't even mind if I was a Bears fan to just throw the season away and just be like, yeah, let's just go for and rebuild with Caleb Williams or Drake May from North Carolina.
Fire the head coach?
Fire the head coach. It's a complete rebuild. Eberflus is not putting Justin Fields in the best position. That's not saying that Justin Fields is a great quarterback, but I believe that he can be better than what he is right now.
So the Bears and the Broncos are favored by 3.5.
Yeah, it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. And I think it's because the Denver has a slightly better offense than the Bears, obviously. And they got a more experienced quarterback. And I would say even coaching staff with Sean Payton.
And DeMeco Ryan
the defense is the question mark.
He just needs to show up, the defensive coordinator from the Broncos.
DeMeco Ryans. What? That's for the head coach.
That's the Houston head coach.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Big Fan.
I don't even know.
Big Fangio. I'm so sorry. He was a head coach for the Denver Broncos. So.
Ooh, there's a reason to win the game. Yeah, I don't see I don't see any other games that would be. I don't know. Do you think the Philadelphia-Washington game is going to be close?
No, man, poor Sam Howell. He had like 4 interceptions, man. No, it's gonna be a destruction for that. No,
Who's the backup for him?
the Commanders, that can be a team. Even though they did win, I believe, 2 weeks
They're
ago.
2-1.
Yeah, they're 2-1, but
They got Jacoby Brissett as backup.
I feel like that's just like a team that you just maybe they win this week, maybe they don't win this week. Like I don't see any like promising things for that particular team.
They won against the Cardinals and Broncos.
I think they're going to be drafting a quarterback maybe in the teens next draft.
This is definitely, I think, a team that has a team built around getting a quarterback. And I think it's a great opportunity for them to get Williams, better than the Bears.
And I wouldn't fire the head coach Rivera and try to keep Bieniemy as well.
Of course not. You're 2-1.
Yeah.
You're winning games that really like you're not supposed to, but it's because they got a really talented defense. That defensive line is pretty good. Even the secondary. It's just, you don't have a quarterback. And you're starting Sam Howell over Jacoby Brissett, which, it's a competitive quarterback room, but maybe they're trying something good. They saw something good in him, and obviously that game against Buffalo Bills is Buffalo Bills. They're a playoff team, so it's not really a surprise. But I'm saying it's because it's the Eagles. It's a divisional game. I don't know, and I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Personally, I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
No, it's a divisional game, like you said, so it can be. But I don't give the Washington Commanders a chance. I believe even just a small story for the Washington Commanders. I believe they're being sued by a Native American organization. I think I was sent this to read to bring back the name Redskins back into the team name. So it's just something that's just out there. But
at least one of them are not offended by it.
But I don't know.
They are -7, Philadelphia, so they're 7 points favorite. That's crazy. And then what's the ownership right now? Are they transferring it over already?
I think they did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then their stadium is like falling apart. They got a lot of stuff going on. But at least they're slowly making their way to improving, I think.
I'm sure in maybe 5 years they'll announce that they're going to be building a new stadium, maybe even sooner than that. And that's just because I see other teams just revamping their stadiums. I believe Buffalo Bills are building their new stadium, and I think even a bad stadium as well, the Soldier Field in Chicago, I believe they want to revamp it, but they're going to keep their stadium, but they're just going to like remodel it, like enhance it.
Yeah. Other games, did you mention Atlanta versus Jacksonville? I think Jacksonville is. I'm not liking what I'm seeing with them.
Yeah, they lost.
Don't know what the heck is going on with that offense. Horrible. And the Texans look great against them. And not saying just because like the Jaguars are good. Like the Jaguars should be good, but obviously they got problems right now and they're not producing anything worth in the offense much, really. And that's not discrediting the Texans at all, but what the heck? What the heck? What are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be... These guys were talked about in the offseason as being like a legit playoff contender. And now you're 1-2 and you lost against a rebuilding team, which, they drafted some great players, obviously. But still, like, you're not supposed to be losing to that kind of thing. And now they're going to go to London. They're going to go to London and they're going to be pretty tired. And it's against Atlanta right now, who are like, what is it, 2-1? They've won against the Packers and Panthers.
I'm sure it's going to be a good game.
It's going to be close. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Atlanta winning this one. And then the other one was, where was it? I lost it. Minnesota, Carolina. Keeping an eye on that one, mainly because of the Carolina defense, possibly. Mm-hmm. What is going on with Minnesota, right? They just picked up a running back. Oh, my God. I just blanked out on this. They traded for one, no? Or am I crazy? They traded for Cam Akers. So, yeah, never mind. Not significant. I don't know why it was a bigger name. They're 0-3. That's a problem.
Well, just see in the end,
also keep an eye
something
on.
For Kirk Cousins that I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking. It was 4th down, and he threw it before the end zone, and that's how they lost. And he said that he couldn't hear the play from the head coach. Like, you should be ready. You're a big-time veteran quarterback to make it, like, call a play, if that's even true, to go into the end zone, and you don't throw it not in the end zone and it's going to win the game. Honestly, I mean, the media's been talking about. A lot of people have been talking about it. The Chargers. I'm sorry, Chargers maybe would have lost that game, and the head coach of the Chargers would have been even in a bigger hot seat if they lost that game. But nope, man. Kirk Cousins just lost it. He just did a boneheaded move in the end. He almost came back and won
at home.
Yep.
At
home.
That's painful. You can't do that. You can't do that. And you're not making a case for Justin Jefferson to stay there. So that's going to be a problem. They're going to have to fix that one. And I don't know what's going to happen with Kirk Cousins after this season if he can't figure it out.
Well, that's something that
those are some of the games.
A lot of Jets fans are talking about that. If the Minnesota Vikings keep losing.
Yeah, getting Kirk Cousins. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Well, I think that we should talk about that. I don't know, as time goes on and maybe the possibilities, the percentage of the likelihood, I guess, rises of Kirk Cousins probably being with a Jet.
We'll see in the few weeks.
As a Jet,
I think Jets fans are going to be
we'll see in a few weeks.
Yeah, the Jets fans are going to be rooting for the Panthers to win.
Oh, man.
No, I'm always rooting them for the win, so I don't know.
The Panthers?
No.
I'm saying that the Jets are rooting for the Panthers to win.
Oh, I honestly don't care.
Viking. All right, so we know how it is for you. They still got hope. How it'll go down, I don't know.
Yeah, it's week 3. I mean, we're going into week 4 now, so it's still really early in the season.
It's early for a lot of teams to hit the panic button, let's just say. But
early.
It's trying to keep an eye on these things and seeing how consistent this problem is. So that's I think for a lot of teams. So hopefully next week we see a lot more interesting things. Hopefully less injuries, right? The Chargers lost Mike Williams. It's a big injury. ACL, I'm pretty sure, out for the whole season. That's really tough for the Chargers. And yeah, I think that was it for like the big injuries, right? I don't think anything else. I mean, there might have been some like slight ones.
Well, we mentioned Derek Carr. He got injured.
Yeah, Derek Carr, yeah.
And we don't know what's going to happen with Garoppolo and his concussion.
Yeah. And then
Stephon Diggs, he got injured but
Joe Burrow's dealing with the calf too.
Yeah, but he's playing.
So, yeah, I'm excited for next week, and there's a lot of interesting games, and I'm pretty surprised with how it's going as usual. That's how the NFL works. So that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys for listening to the very end, and we'd love to see you guys giving your opinion with us on our social media, which is football_tailgaters on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Thank you guys again for listening. We'll see you guys on the next episode.